That's
Hi.
that's nice.
Hi,
That's
Nyamira.
nice. Hi, Sophie. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm sorry. I thought I'd be somewhere quiet by now, but then I'm on my way to town, but it's fine because it's a bit quiet.
Okay.
And I hope I won't have any interruptions.
No,
Yeah, I
it's
hope your weekend was good and mine too was okay. I'm back to Nairobi.
mine was
Yeah.
amazing. I couldn't wait
Mhm.
to have you here because I know the kind of information you're going to share is going to bless
I hope
lots
I
of
rise to the
students.
occasion.
Ah, have no doubts.
Anyway, mhm. Anyway, I do this from my heart. Just a disclaimer is that I don't know everything. What I share is what I've seen through my journey, and in my journey, what pitfalls I have seen. If I knew back then that I would have avoided, and I believe I'd be very far. So because of that, I feel somehow it's good to share with somebody, especially people who are maybe starting, people who are already maybe in between jobs, people who are almost giving up, that they'll never get a job, lazima ukuwe na connections and all that, hoping to help somebody somewhere that might be struggling. That's why I share, and I don't know everything, but I share. At least what I share is a considerable amount of information that can be really helpful. Yeah, and we are still learning. I'm still in the process of learning. And I hope that whatever I share and will be helpful anyway. Yeah, so I think we can start.
Yes, please.
So you had sent in a few questions so that it's a bit more structured. One of them is how I got into NGO jobs. So I'll begin with just in case there's somebody who was not here the first time I talked to guys. I'll begin by saying that my first job was I finished campus and I realized that I cannot come back and sit in the house and wait maybe for my dad to get me a job or something like that. So ile tu napita tao and I saw hapo hivyo Afya Center. I just gotten out of a mat and I saw a college and I got in the college and said that, okay, I see you're teaching diploma courses. I know I can teach. So they gave me a cabronchuo. They told me, teach what you can teach. So there were some that I had not learned in college, but I said I can still teach them. I can just take a book and read and teach. So that's how I started. I started teaching the college, and my first salary, as I was telling people, was 9,000 shillings. Na sile 9,000 unapewa per month. Nile inakuja 2K, 3K. So because the money was very little, I needed to supplement. I now started hunting for easy jobs za kufundisha watu wa like watoto wa dosi kina 11 nini tuition, eh? So whereby the owner of the organization would pay me, let's say if they are paying, the client is paying 2K, he would give me 1,000 or 500, depending on the clients. So kidogo
Mm.
kidogo, now one of my students told me there's another college, Nauko City, and the college is good. I went to that college, and good enough, they were paying good money back then. So I taught for like 1.5 years or almost 2 years. Then one day my brother comes to the house and is like, ameiba page ya gazeti Laibu, and it had a job via IRC. They were doing gender, GBV job in Kakuma. And I was like, I don't even know this Kakuma, but he pushed me and was like, you have to apply for this job. So I applied for the job. I went for the interview. So when I was called for the interview, because they had tried kidogo looking for jobs in the NGO na sikuwa nazipata, so I was like, I don't have anything to lose. If they give me ni sawa, wasiponipatia pia, I'll still continue struggling huku nje. So, but I had a good attitude. I went, I gave in my answers, and I remember after that interview, I went for prayers, place in Vincentian, just to pray on myself, by my own, and I gave it to God. I was like, okay, this job, I would love to have it, and I trust in you that you're going to give me this job, and that's it. And they called me after the interview, they called me in, and I had gotten a job I did the interview in January. By February 15th, I was in a job. And that's how my journey in the NGO world started. And that job, I remember I told myself that I want to stay in this job for 3 years and to understand the job and to understand how NGO world is and all that. I was very patient, and true to my word, after 3 years, I now started wanting to get out. I started looking for jobs like that. And that's how it's been. I've been looking for jobs from time to time. And mostly I use different platforms. I used to use Relief Web, and Relief Web was really helpful. Of course, there are other job sites in Kenya that people can look for. I think My Job, something, I'm not so sure right now, but it's just, for me, it's Relief Web that was really working for me. And in the process, I also discovered what you call rosters. I don't know if I've gone too far, too fast. Okay.
No, you're okay.
Um,
You're okay.
yeah, so that's how I got into the NGO world. And now, to move from that job to another one, I had to go into what you call Relief Web. I had to look for other job sites, different job platforms, to just, like, I would because I know what I want. For example, that time I was looking for a GBV role, and the title was either GBV manager. Because that time I was an officer, I started looking for a GBV manager roles. So I would just Google GBV manager roles, and they come in. Or I go to Relief Web, and you filter. There's a way you're supposed to filter for the kind of roles you want, the kind of countries you want to go to, etc. So that's how I used to do it. I go, I apply. I remember at some point, because of Jesus Stories are data, when I was home, that time we didn't have Wi-Fi in the house. So I would go to a cyber, nikiwa nimezi download, naenda natafuta, I download them, I save them in a Word document. So my work is to go and look at the JD, job descriptions, zote zenye zimeandikwa. So I would now take my CV, tailor the job description as per my CV. So zingiane. Of course, you don't lift everything, but at least 70% of the roles listed in any job description I would see. I would make sure my CV is mirroring that. So, and I found that from that, I was able to be called for a few interviews. And at some point, I decided I also want to look for international jobs. So that's how I also go and look for countries like Sudan. If you're starting out, countries like Sudan will take you, they take Kenyans. And that's how I started even with the international career. And I didn't have to pay anybody to do anything for me. And most of the times I would be on like this, like when I see a talk show or YouTube or something like that, and I'd listen to most HRs talking about CVs, how you're supposed to apply for jobs and all that, just to get more insights into applying for jobs. And then I would go and apply for the jobs. And that's how it's been even up to now. There are times nikiamua, what I do, if you decide that in a certain month, maybe nitajipatia 3 months, I'm like, I'm going to change my job. So what I do within those months, I'm applying like crazy. We could be talking with friends, and I'm on my laptop, I'm applying. I have to, like, in a day, I say I have to submit at least one application. Not unless hakuna jobs that side time ndio sita apply, but so long as there are jobs, and jobs are always they're always advertised. So I would go in and apply, and for sure within that period at least nakuwa nimefanya interviews. Yeah, so that's how you do it. Okay, fine, sometimes it's a bit difficult, but then it matters how you tailor your CV. So I think I've covered how I got into the NGO. So techniques, sometimes, okay, there is you looking for jobs on the websites. There is you using a tool like LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a professional tool that I think most people don't know about. Most people who are starting out do not know how powerful LinkedIn is. So what you do, you get on LinkedIn, you do make your profile so good. I think people like you help people to make profiles on LinkedIn, CV, and all that. Then you detail what you're doing. Like if you're working somewhere, make sure that whatever phrases you're using, they are really catchy, because on LinkedIn, most recruiters, I've seen even 3 recruiters come to my inbox and tell me, we love your profile. And every time, for example, kama mi venye mi niko job, whenever I do something like a training on a particular area, because najua most recruiters and also technical people like advisors will be on the lookout for people who they can easily like pinpoint and say, this person, I want to hire that person, even without knowing you personally.
Yeah.
So what you do, if you're working right now, or if you're not working, you can look for like an NGO. If not, you can do like a document, like write something. You see a good write up on any area of your interest. For me, it's GBV. So if I see maybe kama Kenya wamefanya, maybe there's a certain law imeletwa ya Kenya ama wherever country that's favoring maybe women, that's favoring gender disparity, nitachukua hiyo article, then I write something small from my own observation, then I post. So people keep seeing me posting things that are really making sense along my technical area of expertise. So those are the things that people will see, the recruiters will see you, and they will start now coming into your inbox. So even if you're doing a job, don't just go to the job 8 to 5. If you want to change jobs, make sure that whatever you're doing, the activities, if the activities are really nice, you come and say, during one of our meetings, this and this and this came up. As in, you, even the topics that you bring up are topics that what wanna follow kwa public, maybe your area of expertise, what wanna follow. So you bring them out, and so people start seeing you being very interactive. Yeah. Then another thing, if you're going to use LinkedIn, if you want to also achieve from LinkedIn, now for me, what I do, those people who are in my area of expertise, I follow them. I follow everything they do, any publication, wanaeka hapo, naenda na comment something, you leave something just small to catch their attention from time to time. You like their posts, you repost their posts. And so if you keep following these people, even when they have jobs, you're able to see them at first. Then also follow recruiters. Kama ni mtu kama wewe Nyawira, mtu anakufollow on LinkedIn. So whenever you post any jobs, they're able to see them. Yeah. Like currently where I work, the person who is my technical advisor, even nilianza, because she's very good in GBB. So I started following her comments, commenting nini, nikiona kuna webinar pahali, naingia hiyo webinar, and I make sure if I'm going to a webinar, sometimes you comment one or two things. Don't overtalk in webinars because people are watching what you're saying. So make sure you're talking with intention and you're saying something that unapata, it is really, you've even prepared for it. You've read for that area they're going to present. So it becomes, people start noticing you. So ukienda webinar mbili tatu, kama mi tulienda naye webinar mbili tatu hivyo. So even by the time she's posting this post I'm currently holding, I went into her LinkedIn. I said, hi, I've seen you posted this position and I would really be interested with it. I'm going to send in my application. So I did not tell her that I want you to give me a job. And that is where people even go wrong. If you're going to use LinkedIn, if you're going to want someone to catch your attention and you want someone to maybe give you a job, usiende tu namwambia, oh, nataka unitafutie kazi. No, hakuna mtu atakutafutia kazi. Just go in, wamepost job. Just say, okay, these are my skills. I'm going to submit and I hope to get it. You see, that's different. You're not compelling them that it's a must to give me this job. And you're not kind of canvassing. So she was like, okay, just apply. It would be, I wish you best of luck. And that's it. Yeah. By so doing, hata tukikuja kufanya interview na yeye, she was like, I feel like I already know you. But I still became professional na nikajibu maswali. Hata zingine alikuwa ananiambia, I know you know these things, but because it's an interview, let me just ask you. Why did she tell me that? Because she had seen me in webinars, she had seen what I post on LinkedIn, nini, and all that. That's how I used LinkedIn. And so people, what I'd advise people, there's a difference between LinkedIn, Facebook, and TikTok. And it just depends with you, what you want. For me, I'm a bit professional. So what I do, if I'm posting something on Facebook, I know even my bosses are there. So what I do, even if you're allowed to do a light moment, but I'm also careful to post light moments and also post something. Kama unaona kama ile time tunakuwa na kama, let's say, International Women's Day, I'll go and post something about International Women's Day and link it to my job, what I've done, what we are doing, something like that. Another thing, if you're going to be on LinkedIn also, kama unaona mtu anapost, I mean, you first follow people who are good in your area so that you can catch them when they even post positions, roles, and all that. And why I'm emphasizing on this is because my current role is because I was active on LinkedIn, and I was also getting on wakipost webinars, naingia hizo webinar, naingia na, and I comment, or sometimes I don't need to comment, but I'm just there, I'm visible there. I got another job just recently. They sent me another job, as in, like, ni mtu tu niliona hivyo tu LinkedIn, tukaanzanga kuinteract. If I have a technical question, I ask her, so we kind of grew. I got that network. So by the time alipost hizo jobs kwa LinkedIn yake, nikamwambia I've seen this role and I'm wondering, does this role look like, nilimuza kitu technical, akaniambia please go ahead and apply, I'd love to have you in my team. Na unasikia ni mtu sijui, it's just kumfuata tu LinkedIn hivyo, and you're commenting good things, but don't follow people. And even before you create any relationship, ushaanza kuambia mtu, oh, nitafutie job, this is my CV, you're even bombarding them with CV, hawajakuitisha. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work. The networking of nowadays is being very strategic. Whatever you let people not see like you're using them, because nobody wants to be used. People cherish people who see something they are doing. Nimepost kwa LinkedIn. Unakuja unaniambia, wow, I really admire what you do. Then you also give in your 2 cents and leave the buckets. Okay? Yeah, slowly, and be very patient. Trusting the process is very, very important. So that's LinkedIn. Another way you can also grow your network is a webinar nasema. And there are so many. Nowadays, there are so many webinars. After COVID, webinars ziko nyingi. So instead of maybe wallowing in self-pity, join those webinars. Hata kama una job size, join those webinars. If you can get some few coins and load and join those webinars, the better for you. If you can come here on TikTok, unaona your area of interest, kuna watu wengi sana wanapost vitu nyingi. Like now you come in and interact, and people can see, like, you keep showing yourself out there, and you keep interacting even with strangers, discussing things without necessarily bombarding people with telling them, I need a job. Let them know once that you are on the lookout. In case wasikie kitu, they can send you the advert. Don't tell them that nitafutie kazi. Hakuna mtu atakutafutia kazi. It's a lie. Even me myself, sitadanganya mtu nitakutafutia kazi, because even within my organization, I know the people I hire. For example, I don't hire Kenyans, so I would be lying to you. But what I do sometimes, if I know you and I know your potential, I just kama najua HR fulani, nitamwambia recruiter, there's this person, in case you have, there's this role I've seen and I know this person. So itakuwa to the discretion of the recruiter to pick you or not to pick you. But I won't lie to you ati nitaenda nikikutafutia kazi. No. And people, watu wajitume kwa website. Ziko nyingi. And don't listen to anybody that tells you job ni kujuana. Hapana, job ni wewe kujituma, kuingia kwa websites. You look for these roles and apply. Apply with a lot of confidence and a lot of faith. And even when you look at your CV, now I think I should move to talking about CV.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I've already talked about networking. That's how you network. You put yourself out there and make sure you're interacting with people and what you're telling people. Yeah, because first build a relationship. After you build relationship, ndio unaanza sasa kuambia mtu you are on the lookout. At least they know, and then let them, when they come to your pages, come on Facebook, whatever, at least they are seeing your potential through the kind of things you're posting on your website. Then I think lastly, another thing is trainings. There are very many trainings, and I think last time you were talking about free trainings. Watu waingie trainings, learn as much as you can. And these trainings, most of them are free of charge. Even me, like right now, last year I did around 3 trainings online, free of charge. And after every training, when I finish, I post it on LinkedIn. so that people can see you're growing your skills. So even the recruiters can see you're growing your skills. Technical people in your area of expertise can see you're growing your skills. Don't say that tunangoja job, apana. And then the good thing with these trainings you learn, you get to also interact, because some of them are like, let me say, online trainings, and unapatana na watu huko pia. There's a training I did last year, but one. And in that training, I remember they had just started, and there's this lady that was so vocal. And as we got to know each other, she told me, yeah, by then I'm on the lookout for a job. And I trust me, your training, those training organizers, because she was very vocal, she was very good in the training, walimpa job hivyo. So it's, yeah, walimpa job hivyo. So it's you trying numerous ways like crazy of finding jobs, you know. Siku-stick tu kwa website moja ati ukishaenda website moja umeapply job ndo. Hapana, kama ziko free trainings and there are people attending online, go for those trainings. Make sure mkipewa ma assignment niwe ndio una volunteer hata kupresent nini. And you know, some of these trainings, there are recruiters there also. Kuna ma managers huko watakunotice. Yeah. So it's using very various platforms. And then the good thing with training, another thing, it gives you skills in that by the time unaenda interview, easy bit to there at your fingertips. Yeah. And that is also what helped me when I was starting out. When they asked me in the first job interview that you've never worked in an NGO, what makes you think you can thrive? I said, you know, what I'm training NGO workers. It's only that I've never got the platform. But the beauty was, because I had been reading to train others, I found it very easy for me to ace the interview. So that's the most important thing when it comes to training. And the beauty of it, it is free. Come on, I know times are hard. If you don't have money, ingia cyber, because most sessions utapata ni 1 to 2 hours. Ingia cyber, lipa 30 bob yako ama 50 bob, fanya hizo 1 hour, whatever. Do the training, toka umepata skill. Na hujatumia hata pesa nyingi sana, you know? Yeah, so that is also one way that people can use. I don't know whether to post to allow questions. I've really talked, sorry.
You had a few queries. People wanted to know what
Okay.
your career is like. What's your education qualification?
Sorry?
I mean, people want to know what you took in campus, probably other
Oh, what
courses
I
that you've
took in
done.
campus.
Yes, and other courses that you've done as a
Okay, so
complement.
I did my undergraduate. I did gender. No, I did social sciences. Sorry, I majored in gender and psychology and a bit of political science. But political science niliacha as I'm going to second year. Then
Okay.
after my undergraduate, I told you I was teaching and I was saving my money, and part of it nikachukua kidogo help. I went back to Nairobi University. I did armed conflict and peace studies. Yeah. And then
Okay.
extra courses nizo nawaambia za online management nini hizo, those free courses. You just identify your area. Me identified I love GBV work, so anytime I want to do a course, I just go and Google GBV training or something like that, and I get those trainings. So ni wewe ku identify what you want, and then you just Google randomly to Google. But also because of those things like LinkedIn, unapata LinkedIn, if you're following so many people, you're able to get those platforms that trainings. Yeah. And right now I'm doing another master's in sexual reproductive health, global sexual reproductive health, because along the way I've realized I also want to do something on sexual reproductive health and link it to GBV because it's linked to gender-based violence. Yeah.
Okay.
So I did gender but ended up doing GBV. They are somehow linked, but it's not the same thing. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's how I got
Sophie.
into. That's how
Okay.
my education background is.
You could also tell us what page it is, your link to your LinkedIn for those people who'd be interested to check it out and probably start from that point. Also, I think no, you have a structure that I gave. I don't know if you're done with it because I'd like to know if you'd recommend a few websites that people could use to get jobs.
So one of them is Relief Web. Let me chat it here. Relief Web.
Okay.
Then we have something called rosters. Okay, rosters. For example, there is Canadem. People should just
Okay.
Google Canada. There's NORCAP. There's you can go on the UNHCR job vacancies.
Okay.
So what you do with the UNHCR vacancies, there's something they call evergreen. So saizi sijui kwa wanaitana, when they start wakianza kuitana watu waweke profile, I will inform you Nyawira, then you can inform people. I think around September huko ndio watanini launch. However, currently there are very many jobs with, so people should identify what line they want and don't fear. Hata hizi jobs za nje watu wanazipata vizuri sana. I'm talking about now professional jobs. There is a UNFPA. There's UNFPA, there is UNHCR, there is WHO. So what you do is identify again your area of expertise. Then you Google.
Okay.
UNHCR, there is WHO, there is like the UN bodies, there is IOM, there is then there are other various organizations. So what people do is, kama mimi sasa nikitaka job, if I go to Relief Web, nitaingia Relief Web, there's a way you're supposed to filter. I will filter. Kama nikitaka in other organizations, I'll just say, for example, if I'm looking for, let me say, like right now I'm a GBV coordinator. GBV coordinator vacancies. Itaniletea zote. Na hata ukiingia LinkedIn pia, you say that you're on the lookout for a job, then you filter in the roles you want. So kama saizi always I'm getting roles za GBV coordinator or advisor, nini vitu kama hizo, because I filtered in my LinkedIn. I hope I'm clear. Yeah.
Yes.
And then all these UN jobs, just go UN vacancies. Kama saizi UNHCR wamea nini walitoa around almost 200 jobs juzi, and they're hiring people. So unaenda unaangalia then you apply. But hiyo evergreen ikikuja, uzuri unaweka profile yao huko, so whenever you apply they easily single it out. And then another disclaimer is, hizi kazi, it's not a must to get. Hata mimi napatanga regrets. So even if you get regret, don't worry. Take it with positivity. I just say, ni sawa tu, they don't know what they are missing. And I move on. Because there are so many reasons why people will not give you a job. Saa zingine unapata ni job fulani wamewekea mtu fulani. It's still happening. Unapata saa zingine basically you didn't do your CV right or your cover letter, something like that. So there's so many reasons. Even after doing an interview, there's still so many reasons why sometimes they will not pick you. But don't worry. Bora tu umeitwa interview, umepata regret. It's fine. At least you've done something. At least you learned something with every application. Because you keep reviewing your CV. You learn something. Okay? And it gives you an edge over others who are seated and pitying themselves, saying, "Oh, maisha yangu ni ngumu." No, it's gonna be fine. That's what I tell people. Yeah.
Yes. There's someone
Community
asking,
assistance.
Yes, and also is asking about technical courses like probably IT, computer science. Would they easily work at with these organizations, and how can they easily get those?
Yeah, NGOs. See, kuna IT people. They need this kind of background. IT wako kwa every organization iko na mtu wa IT. Yeah, kina UN jobs iko na mtu wa IT. So long as you've done a course, the most important thing is, how do you position yourself? Ukiwa na job, unatuma tu CV shagala bagala, ama you really, because looking for a job is also another job. Even me up to date, I sit down and do a CV, redo it, and hata koma penye kuwa naeka. Kama nataka, if I really want a job, that is what I do. You go to your CV, look at the job description, match, enda kwa cover letter, pia hivyo. Ina match nayo. At the end of the day, you'll find, like I've been a recruiter, okay? So unapata saa zingine unapata CV kama 30 CVs. Unajua? So I just scan through, nikiona wananipatia tu story hata ziniletee bidii. I move it aside. Not because I'm being hateful, but you know it's tiring. To hire ni kuchoka. Sasa hiyo uko na position kama 5 una hire. Umetumiwa CV kama 300. You see? You need to long list, you need to short list. So you make sure that at least kama ni mimi na hire, nikikuwa najua nataka training, if in the job description imesema training, unajiweka hapo, unaweka capacity building. Some of them have softwares, unatolewa immediately. So even the wording should be vile wameweka kwa hiyo ni job description. Kama wamesema training, weka training. Mambo ya capacity building eka kando, hiyo ni yako. I'm sorry. Yeah.
All right, Sophie. I would like to know, and a few people here would also love to know, what does the role of a GBV coordinator entail?
So
What do
a
you do?
GBV coordinator, what I do is I run programs. For example, like let's say kuna donors like I look for funds. I do proposals. After getting the funding, so now I plan how we are going to use this funding. But of course, I have a team under me. I have a manager under me. So we discuss with the manager how the work will be implemented. The proposal, I take her through the proposal, because right now I'm not working with a very strong team. So it depends from country to country. If I was working in Kenya right now, it's easy for me because most Kenyans are educated. So utapata manager anaweza kuandikia proposal. So my work is to technically review. Then my work also entails going to the field, nione venye wanafanya job. Sometimes I go to talk with them kama wako na stress, na we talk through it. Kama wako na, for example, technical questions, I answer for them. And also like donor reports, zile za mwisho mimi ndio natumanga. So a coordinator role is more of technical support. Yeah.
Okay.
To train, sometimes I do technical trainings with my manager. Kama saa zingine namwachia zingine, nikitrain mara 2 na ya 3 yanaenda na train. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see. Right. Yeah. So you've mentioned a few companies that people could easily get jobs there. Would you mention a few positions under these companies? Like we know there's GBV coordinator because of you, and also probably a few roles that you have taken, key positions that people could easily, because we know the challenge we have is we go to school, we study, but you find people are taking political science, all right? People are taking admin, but people do not know what organizations they would work for and what roles they would take. So you find people are limited. People can easily apply for positions, but they do not know because they are never guided. They are never guided.
Yeah.
So probably you can share a few positions that people could easily apply, those that you have done, those that you found within the NGO sectors. Yes.
So let me start within the NGO sectors, yeah? So an NGO is like any other organization. They will need an admin person. They will need a finance person. They will need a procurement person. They would need, let's say, technical now, Kama mimi ni GBV, they would need a GBV manager. They would need, kama umefanya wash, they would need a wash person. They would need an IT person, yeah? They would need even cleaners. And they would need even drivers, yeah? And so I've seen some people asking admin. So even admin, they have admin roles in all the NGOs that we have around, yeah? And for me, the roles I've done, so if you're starting off, the best roles to do is start off with an officer. I started as an officer. There are other organizations that can hire an assistant, like an assistant. It depends with the role. For example, kama ni sisi tunakuwa na case worker. Huyo ndio anafanya kazi za kuona kama ni mtu ako na clients wenye anataka. Kama umefanya psychology, you can easily become a case worker or an officer, depending with the organization. Then from officer, you move to maybe senior. Others who have senior officer, and now manager and coordinator. Yeah. So that's how it is. And now technical advisor. So it depends. There are some, the manager ni mkubwa wa coordinator, but like in our organization, coordinator ni mkubwa wa manager. So that's how I've grown through the ranks. And people should not, usitake sana, kukimbia mbio sana, Because if you rush, for example, today ujiambia mimi nataka tu manager, you've never been an officer. It means that when you become a manager, it becomes a problem for you because kuna vitu nyingi sana zitakuwa zimekupita za ground. So like me, I was able to grow like pole pole, trusting the process and learning along the way. So right now I'm a coordinator. I was a manager before, and like my staff, I always tell them I started from an officer. So job ya chini hiyo yenye unaenda kwa community. I remember people were telling me like we were working with a health organization. So the doctors would call me and another lady tuko tunafanya community work. Walikuwa na Twitter watu wa kurandaranda kwa community hatujasoma, but I didn't care. I learned a lot from these communities just by interacting with them, talking to them on a daily basis. So trust the process, start small, start from officer, ukienda hivyo ukipanda kuwa manager and all that.
Yes.
Usikimbie kuwa manager immediately sometimes. It depends with the organizations. Kama ni marketing, maybe you can become a manager, but it's good to always start from hapo si chini sana, but at least somewhere yenye umejua zi basics za the kind of practice you're doing. So hata ukipatiwa hiyo job ya kuandika proposal, if you're writing for example a proposal, at least mi najuanga activities, hakuna kitu unaweza nichenga. Yeah, but I sit with my team, of course. We discuss and I see, is this feasible in your communities? Can this work? Nini targets tunafanya now? Vitu kama hizo. So trust in the process. Community health and development. Community health and development. Yes, you can work in health organizations. And let me list some health I worked with the IRC, and there is International Medical Corps. Yeah. Kuna Red Cross, yeah. Straight. Takatia pale. Yeah, kuna hiyo Medical Corps, kuna MSF. Hivyo. Na ukiingia job, another thing Nyawira I would advise for those who are maybe in between jobs, ukiingia, be as diverse as possible. Yeah, I got in as an officer doing outreach and prevention activities at GBV. But because I have a background in psychology, whenever I would have a forum with, let's say, women, you find after kuongelesha wataniambia, please come and give us like a session ya counseling. So I would do some bits of counseling, and so I became all round. Yeah, and that is what has helped me right now. And that's why I'm telling people, jitumeni mfanye mpaka hizo training. So that mtu hata akikufanyia interview, anaona, huyu ni smart, wacha nichukue huyu. Yeah, because sina kazi nyingi ya kumtrain vitu nyingi. Na ukienda interview, sienda kusema ati, no, I don't know, I will learn. Hapana, you know very well. Please. Afadhali, when ukienda interview, don't make a mistake of saying, ati, I will learn, nini. Hapana, most people, it's a human nature. Hataki sumbua. So what you do, you say, yeah, I've done that. You talk even from experience and all that, because you've done even those trainings, I'm assuming now after this discussion. So you find like, ukiingia job, sasa tafuta mabeste wako wenye wako kwa hiyo line. Kitu ikikuchenga, unawatafuta wanakupatia advice, unawapatia document, unawaambia, please review for me. Don't be afraid to be vulnerable with people you trust and people who mean well to you. It will help you a long way. So in the process, unaona unaendelea ukilearn. So you didn't say, I don't know. So you didn't miss that opportunity. Yeah.
Yes.
Hata kama unajua utaenda kulearn, ni sawa, utalania na uko mbele. But don't say you don't know. Yeah. How does volunteering help in your job search? So volunteering, what it does to you, you get out of the house, you get to network, you get to talk to people, you also list it in your CV, and people can see, despite you not having a job, you are able to do something meaningful with your time. And for me, if I see you've been volunteering, I will hire you. And I know many other recruiters. It also gives you a chance. In case kuna gap, it's okay, unapewa job. So when you go to volunteer, do it with do it with all your heart.
Yeah.
All
right.
Sorry.
One more question for you, Sophie.
Yes.
What are the skills that you would want to see on a CV? And especially for people looking for work within the same sector? What are the skills that recruiters look for?
If you're looking within which sector, any sector?
Any sector. For example, let's talk about GBV. Let's talk about GBV. Because most of NGOs handle mostly NGB and issues related to human, okay?
Yeah.
So what are the specific skills that recruiters look?
Okay. So one of them is, because most of them will want you to do reports, one of them is report writing, depending on the level. If it's officer, report writing. Of course, vitu kama hizo programs za nini za, what do you call them, za computer, kina these simple ones like unajua Word, unaweza ukafanya PowerPoint presentations and all that. Then another skill can be communication skills, sound communication skills. You're flexible. So na kama ni GBV, the kind of trainings we do ni vitu kama GBV case management, GBV prevention, engaging men and boys, GBV safe spaces, safe space operation, GBV data management. Aya, that is GBV. Kama ni M&E, una list tu, unaangalia what M&E guys should have, vitu kama hizo. Maybe sometimes you can even go ahead and talk about proposal writing. You can talk about M&E, development of M&E plans and all that. So to make it easy, let me say, so for me, I can list for GBV, but at least what runs across board, ni mambo kama, especially if it's a technical area, ni mambo kama ya computer, mambo kama ya report writing, mambo kama ni finance, mambo kama ya budgeting, you're good in budgeting and budget management, vitu kama hizo. And go ahead and say, kama umefanya na donors, which donors you've worked with. It also helps you a lot. Yeah. So if you're applying, for example, for UNHCR, you can say you've also worked with UNHCR. So for skills, there is a communication, those soft skills we talk about. But what people should do, enda kwa line yako, because I might misguide you, because I may not know what other areas would need. So enda kwa line yako, angalia job descriptions za watu. Yeah, the organization, even if there's no job at that particular moment. Angalia job descriptions za watu. From the job descriptions za watu, you're able to tell, for example, these are the roles I need to have. These are the skills I need to have. You put it in your CV, and if you don't know those skills, you make it a point of now Googling and learning about them. There can be trainings, you can go. So thank to me after a few minutes. I'll send you for sure. Sorry, I'm getting off a taxi.
Yeah,
so,
I can tell.
Yeah. Good day. Asante na kutumia. Yeah? Yeah, I'll call you when I finish. Sorry, Nyawira. So you go. So you go on a job. Okay, jobs zenye unataka. Assuming it's officer, assuming it's manager in your area of expertise. Angalia watu waki-advertise, what do they put in the job descriptions? Then that is what much of it you put it in your CV. Yeah. Then now, if you don't know that particular skill, you start now the process of learning. Unaweza enda YouTube, or you can Google if they are open free training on the same area.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how you get the skills that could be needed for those particular jobs.
Okay.
And I saw somebody talking about, I think somebody said, and those who don't have education, what can you do? So just as there was a time, Kawira, you were talking about trainings, you can still go to those trainings and still learn, because I believe most people at least work on let's say class 8 certificates now, maybe Form 4. And right now, I don't want to sound like I'm being snobbish, but in reality, let's face the reality. Size in the world of today, well, there are others who have made it out there without much education. But to say the truth, if you are a young person, what I tell people is, even if maybe you didn't have money and you were not able to finish school, you can still, unaweza fanya hizi kazi ndogo ndogo, na msidharau kazi ndogo ndogo. I myself started na kazi ndogo despite being a graduate. I didn't care. Okay, so
Mm.
you start with even hata hizi kazi tu manual labor nini, you save your kapesa kidogo, you maneuver, ufanye hata adult classes, at least upate hata form 4 certificate, because saizi
Yes.
ukiangalia hata nasikia something like is it this green card, they are not taking people who don't have form 4 ama kitu kama hiyo. Yeah, so don't say that, oh, you wallow in self pity, ujiambie oh, mi sina do. No, start somewhere, do something. It's not like I'm doing this motivation speaking, but in reality ukianza tu kidogo and save. Nobody educated me my masters. I just did it on my own, even with a small salary, because nilibambanya hapa na hapa. I started saving, ile ilikuwa imebakia nikatafutana na help, you see.
Yes.
So people should not lose hope, even if you're not doing well in life, even if you're a cleaner somewhere, clean and have your goals set. Kama ni biashara, kama ni job, me I'm talking about jobs because that is what I know how to advise best. And you can go far. Yeah. Which websites offers the trainings? So these ones are for humanitarians. Kuna Coursera, I think, I don't know. I'll try to. Sorry, I'll try to get them, and then I send to Nyawira. Then Nyawira
Yeah.
can share.
All right.
Yeah, saizi
That is
hakuna
good.
help, unfortunately.
Amen. That's good. I'm so happy for you, Sophie. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thank you so
yeah,
much. I know I need to release you because I can tell now you're in the office.
yeah.
Thank you for your time. The information you shared is pretty
Let me
important.
see if
And
I've forgotten anything.
okay, check on your end.
Okay. Also, something else I want to caution people. Yeah. You see, me, I
Okay.
do it out of my heart because I know sometimes people are struggling and they don't have advice. However, there are others who make it their business to lie to people, and they see you're naive, you're looking for information, so they start lying to you and you start giving your money. Don't spend your money in the name of nitakutafutia kazi, unless nizo kina agents zenye kabisa have to give them money to be sent somewhere. But hizi jobs are NGO, no, don't give out your money, please. Don't.
Mm.
Yeah, people have lost money na ni pesa hauna, ni pesa unajaribu kusave. Nobody should lie to you ati ndio upitishwe lazima utoe pesa fulani. Well, maybe one or two people have succeeded, but me, I would tell people it's a scam. Most of them are scam. Yes.
Yeah.
Don't be lied to. And don't give up. Even if you send 30 CVs. Me, I'm telling you, Nyawira, I'm not bragging, but at least I've worked in around, up to now, around 6 different countries. And in all those jobs, sikutafutiwa na mtu, ni hiyo tu kunetwork, isipokuwa tu hii yenye mtu aliniona kwa tulijuana hivyo kwa platforms and all that. And right now I can see myself getting people asking me, would you come and work with us? All of them nimekuwa naingia online, zingine nafanya what do you call them, I apply, I get regrets. Some of them, if you see my CV, it's very, very rich na hii line yangu, because I was very careful to learn a lot. But you still find naenda interview, nitaanguka zingine nitaitwa tukosanie maybe salary or something like that, but I still press on. Shida ni uapply kama 5 hivi, uchapwe zote, hata zingine urudishiwi regret. Don't worry, yours is coming, yours will locate you. That's what I tell people. Yeah. Yours will locate you, but in the process, what are you doing is very, very important. Ndio hata ukiingia job, maybe you've been missing out, maybe let's assume you've been a graduate, you may miss out on a lot, you've really stayed out for a long time, unafeel umerust. Don't let yourself rust. Yeah, ingia, fanya hizo training, go for those webinars, do everything you can to connect to people, to talk to people. Hata kama uambiwi wakutafutie kazi, you learn something by discussing with people. Yeah, you learn something when you go to these platforms. Like right now, I've seen so many people commenting, and I'm getting a lot of information from just these comments, yet I'm the one giving advice, you see. So always have, and then people should have an open mind. Hata kama unaona mtu anakaa mjinga, sijui nini, no. You can learn a lot from even just these people you see, maybe unapata mtu ni cleaner, unamdharau. No. For me, I talk to anybody, anywhere, at any time, and always have a positive attitude.
Yeah.
And people should learn to never to inataka kusize mtu. Like unaona mtu ameparara, unasema huyu anakaaje. Yeah, hujui anakaaje, ndio maybe anaweza kusaidia na mawazo. Talk with people with intention of genuinely talking to them and learning something from them. That's what I tell people. Yeah. Even my staff, they may be my staff. Mi najua kualiko, but still sijui kualiko. You see, we talk with, I ask them for advice sometimes. I ask them, do you think this can work? Yet I'm their coordinator, you see? Yeah, people should have that attitude. But ukijifanya unajua kila kitu, utakuta ujui chochote. But for jobs, I really feel bad when I see people struggling out there. But I hope from these forums, people are going to really open up and open their mind, and they are going to get these jobs. Hata kama job haikuji, learn a skill. Yeah, use that skill to get some coins. Yeah. I think I've talked about networking. I've finished.
Kuna mtu anauliza hapa,
Is
is it
it
okay
okay
to
to
lie on
lie?
your CV? In what case? You need to explain more.
Come see, come sir. So, this is what you do. Usi, for example, I know a friend that had lied, as in alichukua CV ya one of my former supervisors, akaitani ikakuwa yake na akaniquote ka referee wake. So somebody asked me, Sophie, we see you're here, a friend of mine in that organization. So he read for me that I was like shocked. So I could not sing him bad mouth. So I looked for her. I was like, CV yako inasomaje? She was like, mimi nilidanganya. So for example, she had said she has worked in Iraq, she has worked in so many countries, and she has never left Kenya. Hiyo nayo ni ufala, because people do trace. But for example, sometimes unatafuta job ya, let's say, manager. Then you say that you've been an officer and you've also acted as a manager. Yeah, that is fine. Kuna ile uongo kama ya dates, you've worked somewhere, unaweza stretch na maybe 4 months, 3 months hivi extra, but kuna ile nayo usidanganye sana. Yeah? And then lying also depends. Kama saa umeweka CV, kama mi nikiona job fulani, a certain skill, na maybe sina your skill, what I would do as I was going through the process, I would quote that particular skill in my CV and send. So before maybe niitwe interview, because maybe naweza kosa kuitwa, I go back and learn that skill. Hiyo ni uongo sharp. So just know which lie you can. Sharp lies or funny lies that are foolish. So you cannot lie, for example, you went to Nairobi University. Na kweli hujai kanyanga your institution. Now that is not a lie. That is not something else. But if you say like you have a certain skill, na hauna, make sure you go and learn it. So that by the time wanakuita interview, kuuliza hizo maswali, you talk like you've already been doing that thing. And right now things are so easy. Kuna YouTube, kuna free training. Go to those trainings and get the skills. Yeah.
Free of charge.
Can one get a job even though she has not graduated yet? You can get, depending. Maybe kama umefanya diploma, there are organizations that most NGOs kwanza wana hire watu wa diploma. Only that right now some of them are becoming a bit funny and they are hiring a degree, but diploma inanga shida. Utapata some roles in diploma if you've done a diploma. Yeah. But at a degree, if you say, when you're on your CV, you've not finished your degree, you can say ongoing. Yeah. And then you can state the dates when it's due for completion. Some of them give you that allowance. Yeah. Let me see. Yeah, so those are some of the, yeah. And please, msikuwe na haraka sana ya kupata pesa, as in like, everything you're doing is for money. People see through you. We know you want money, but don't let it be so obvious. Learn the skill and be honest. Honesty is a key. I may not be saved, but I believe whatever you do in hiding, when you go to God and ask God to give you something, it's so easy for you because God has seen what you do it with all honesty. If you're in positions of power, don't start embezzling money and kufanya vitu funny, especially if you're working with the poor and you want to take advantage of them. Trust me, itakurudia. So be
Yeah.
honest in whatever you do. Usijaribu kumnyang'anya mtu kitu, and God sees all this in hiding, and those are the blessings that you get.
Yeah.
You don't need to give somebody money. How do you interact even with people who are below you? Do you sneer at them? Do you talk to them in a nice way? Mtu hata akitoka kuongea na wewe, they feel they are happy, they are blessed for having encountered you. So it's all round, by the way. A job is all round. And even those who get into jobs, what I would advise also, because I know jobs are coming for you. If you're in positions of power, usitese mtu, because the jobs, that is where you spend most of your time. If you're a supervisor, be kind to people. Yeah. I have
Yeah.
suffered with a bad supervisor. I have thrived with a good supervisor. So I know both
Yeah.
ends. When you are unkind to people, people really cry with your name, and hiyo machozi inakurudiana. So yeah, my LinkedIn is just my name, Sophie. Sophie Karimi. That's
Sophie
my link.
Karim.
It's also my LinkedIn. Karimi.
Karimi. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I have been on
Sophie
the line
Karim.
for long at Nasaidika in the baking industry. And also, I think there are also others who are in business. Maybe Nyawira, people are in business can also do a bit of, like marketing. I think marketing also helps. Kina Facebook, kina nini. Because some of the things, like for example, especially with ladies, when we see something imehypiwa sana FB, we go buy. So it's also how you do your marketing that matters. I think so.
Yeah.
Then there's
Yeah.
also NGOs that hire with diplomas. So many. There is MSF. There is IRC, as I mentioned. There are a list of NGOs. There are so many NGOs. Yeah, it just depends with what you are doing. I think your skills, because
Okay.
unaona pia NGOs vary. For me, I've worked in health NGOs, so ziko na health na ndani yake wako na GBV programs. Yeah.
Okay.
So I
All
think
right.
maybe Nyawira, maybe you can filter the NGOs that are out there, because most NGOs, they hire diplomas. So don't worry if you have a diploma. But please, if you have a diploma, if you get a job, if you get some few coins, enroll in a degree program. Kwenye tunaenda saa hizi, truth be told, if you're not in business, hizi jobs zingine nyingi, they want skills. People are educated out there. Watu wako na mpaka ma PhD, not to scare people. Yeah. And even if you didn't get good grades in KCSE, I hear you can start with a certificate, upande hivyo ufanye diploma, ufanye mpaka even your degree. So people should not fear that, oh, I failed, oh, there's no chance. Maybe you fail because your exam ulichanganyikiwa. Who knows? Maybe you got a panic attack, and it doesn't mean that you're stupid. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
a diploma in project planning, where should I start? Most people I see with diploma in project planning, what people do is, like now for me, I did GBV. So I'll go back to school and do project planning because I want to be a project manager. So most people who do project planning, they're either hired as managers, and mostly it's managers, either managers or M&E. You can also do M&E to incorporate it. There are free courses of M&E also in the industry. And then also, what is your interest? Because when you're doing project management, you're going to manage a project. Interest yako ni gani? Yeah, that's what you should also know. Like if your interest is in GBV, okay, fine. Then do a short course on GBV so that you get that skill, so that when you're applying for a job, you're showing that you have project management. Alongside project management, you have this and this and this course. Yeah, so it helps you. You can do help, because project manager, unakuwa manager wa you can manage any project. You can grow and become a country director or a sector head. So it depends with what your area of interest would be. Yeah. Do
Yeah.
an extra skills online, which are even free, so that hata kama umeapply job ya manager in a certain area, mtu anaona uko na nini ya project management, you also have that skill in that specific area. Yeah. Electrician, can you be employed? So for electricians, what can I say? What I know about electricians is you can still do easy nini tenders za maybe maybe servicing for organizations, their ACs and other electrical appliances. Yeah. So people should not only be limited to only lazima nipate employer moja. Sometimes you can also do consultancy work. Kama wewe ni electrician, you can be employed in a job, you can do servicing for them. You can do servicing for them, but sijaona NGO wakiemploy electricians. Maybe kama kuna organization in a deal na mambo za electricals and all that supplies, you can be employed. But pia think about going into self-employment as well, going to look for roles that need this kind of skill, or even hizi jobs za kina Qatar huko kwote. I'm sorry, sometimes my knowledge is limited in some areas. As I told you in the beginning, there's some areas I may not know. I may give you hints, for example, of becoming a consultancy, which can also give you money.
Yeah.
And it's not difficult. Just register a company na uanze sasa watu wakitaka consultancy una bid.
Yeah.
And then even as any age limit kwa NGO, no. Mostly they don't have. Maybe 90 zuko itakuwa stress. I've seen even people who are 60 years and they are even being employed in NGO. Although some of them may want people who are starting off roles may not work so well for you. But easy roles kama kina advisor nini, those senior roles may work for you. But it's not so limited. See kama government. The free skills depends what you want. Okay, there's someone asking where can we learn the free skills from? It's online. You can learn free skills from YouTube. You can also learn free skills from websites such as Coursera. I'll share others, a few with Nyawira, which you can learn skills from. And also, what kind of skill do you want? So sometimes you can randomly Google free training on XX skill. You'll get a lot of suggestions on Google.
Yeah.
And go for those trainings. They are very good. So the issue of marketing, you need to do marketing sana. So I think Patros is asking how I wish you could guide on how to structure CV. I think maybe Nyawira does that. For me, I was just giving tips on structuring CV in line with kama una apply job planning, structure your CV to suit whatever they have written there. But I think more can be supported by Nyawira.
All right. Share your side.
I have a bachelor degree. Yeah. My LinkedIn, it's not the best by the way. Nilikuwa lazy kuitengeneza sana. But I post a lot. Okay. I also have shortcomings. I'm not perfect. So Sophia Karimi, just search me as Sophia Karimi. Where can I learn? And please don't tell me to get you jobs. I don't have jobs. What you can do is, if I get roles, I can always share with, especially for NGOs. I always see them a lot. Me nakuwa natafuta job every day. So I can easily share with Nyawira now that we are linked, and she can always share with you, because next week I'm going to work. I'm not sure I can do lives a lot. So I think I better leave it to Nyawira. I will share with Nyawira.
Okay.
Yeah. Deep in supplies and chain management. Supplies and chain management. You can do procurement. In NGOs, they hire as either supply chain officer or procurement officer. Yeah, Kaya is also good. Thank you for sharing. I'd forgotten. So for me, mostly, I work in NGO. Just in case I have a bachelor in arts religion. So all jobs, all roles, unaona hizo roles zote mnasema, IT, procurement, all of them are also in the NGOs. Uzuri wa things like procurement, it's very, as in like all the NGOs have to have a procurement person. Si kama sasa GBV kuna organization siezi fanya, unaona. But if you're doing procurement, if you're in IT, you stand better chances because you can work anywhere. any NGO will always need an IT person, will always need a procurement person, something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
When you're wamefanya monitoring and evaluation, they'll always do monitoring and evaluation and all that. So you're better placed. My net ilipotea. International relations, pia kuna organizations they do that. Can I get a job? My dears, even Form 4 leavers, there are jobs out there for you. But if you're a Form 4 leaver, also concentrate on earning an extra skill. Because Form 4, you realize Form 4 does not give you any skills. These skills that are needed, like GBV work, you will not get a Form 4 leaver doing GBV work. So it also depends with what you want. At admin, they will rarely give a Form 4 leaver job ya admin. Lazima ukuwe na maybe ka course ka certificate hivyo. So if you're a Form 4 leaver, job zako ni hizo za kina marketing, something like marketing, maybe kwa kina cyber, kina nini, those to starting jobs. So when you get there, then you now can start to advance your education from there. Criminology, can I get a job? Yeah, very well. There are so many NGOs. Yeah, NGOs, mingi, yeah. Even like mine, we don't have volunteers. But also, there is UNV. It's written, let me write for you. You can apply for UNV. If you're a graduate and you don't have a job, UNV. This one is UN volunteers. They take a lot of people. Social development. So I see people are asking this almost a similar question about they have these skills. Can we get which NGOs? So what I can do, I'll send you Nyawira a list of. There's so many NGOs around, so I'll send you a list, and then you can see how best to maybe put them out here in your life. Let's see. And don't have the money. CPA. I don't know whether they are free courses on CPA or CIPS. I don't know. I'm not so sure. Yeah, course technical courses. So some of them, do they pay you UNV? Yeah, they pay you. There's also I've forgotten. The problem is I've forgotten some of them, because some of them I used to look at them when I was starting off. There's also another one that you can go to. You go in as a volunteer. Wanakutuma pahali. For example, if it's a manager, they even send people outside. Then when they send you, they don't give you the money as an expert. They pay you as a local staff. So assuming a local staff is getting 100,000, they'll give you that 100,000. They'll not give you more than that. So for UNV, yes, they pay.
Okay.
I think I've done justice to this show. But what I advise people, don't give up hope. Yeah? It's just prioritizing.
Yeah.
Where can I get
Let
a
me
job?
ask Sophie.
Yeah.
When can you say that? When would you say within your career that your
Yeah.
life really changed? When did you make that? When did you make that decision that I want to do GBV, and why GBV? Why GBV?
Okay. So in campus I did gender. Yeah. Gender was a course on women and men, blah blah blah, like that. So when I
Yeah.
finished campus, and like I told you, I started to teach. And so when I got this first job here, NGO, it was GBV. And I remember my brother telling me, so unapenda mambo za gender. Sasa hii GBV iko ndani. So for sure I loved it. I chose GBV because I love working with women. As I was growing up, I would see, like, those nuances. Ujui vizuri, but tunasikia to comments about the way women are being mistreated. Maybe uncle fulani amemtesa mwanamke, the children are really suffering. And so that is what pulled me to get into this career. So I wanted to do it for women, for girls, like that. And then also because I love children a lot, having been, when I was a child, having been, let me say, mistreated by adults who are around our house, like you see the way relatives come, and they would really not be so good with me. So I really wanted to protect children. And I thought the best way to do it is nikianza hii job ya GBV. See, I'm meeting women. See, I'm enlightening them about how to protect their children, vitu kama hizo. So that's why I got into this job. For me, it's about the passion. Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it's about the
Right.
passion. So people should just know what their passion is, because even when I went for the interview, I was able to display the kind of passion I had with this job.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you any project in Kenya on GBV at the moment?
No, no.
Okay.
The only thing I do is sometimes I tell people, like, if they have some organizations, I can do a pro bono for them. But so unfortunately, people think you want to take their jobs, which is not true. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
And you
So I
just
don't
want to
have
assist.
yeah, no, sometimes I just want to create awareness. Just like you see the way I'm using this your platform to create
Yeah.
awareness on something I notice. I notice most people come on my LinkedIn, oh, nitafutie job. Because I don't want
Mm.
to be mean, I'm like, no, we don't do it like this. If you do it like this,
Mm.
it can harm you in this and this, such and such a manner. So that's why and then because I wanted to encourage people, I realized that people are really broken. Mtu ametafuta kazi haipatangi. Some of them are on the verge of giving up. To encourage them through my story that I started from, there's a time that money was not flowing in between, like hizo jobs za kufunza. I became a
Yeah.
permanent employee, and the organization I was working for ikaanza kusota. Ilikuwa Mgriki, so ukapata tupati pesa regularly. So I
Yeah.
started like losing hope. I was like, oh, what's happening to me? I thought I was doing so well. And
Mm.
2014 was a year for me that was so painful, because it was, I'd not gotten this NGO job. And so I just like to encourage people, because I've also seen some of my friends unapata mtu wana job for a long time, and sometimes God just puts me in their path. Unapata natembea na mtu naambia mtu utapata, and in the end they get it.
Yeah.
They do. I have a friend that had no job. I didn't know she didn't have a job until much later. Hiyo nikiwa kwa hiyo NGO, she would come to my house. I would get food, we eat together. To me, she was my friend first before the
Yeah.
job. So later on ndio akaniambia unajua sikuanga na job. So I would encourage her, nikienda field na mwachia laptop yangu kwa room yangu na apply jobs. I would encourage her, and trust me, right now she's working for UN. Mira sifanyi kazi UN with more money than me. Yes.
Wow. Wow.
It's
And
about
she
not
has
giving
the,
up. Hmm?
yeah.
Yeah?
And you have
Yeah,
grown.
it's about,
Mm.
yeah?
Mm.
Yeah, it's about not giving up, and being there for each other, and just knowing
Mm.
that as hard as, what I know is, as hard as life might be, huwezi zaliwa from the day you are born to the day you die, you will always
Yeah.
have problems. That is a lie. That's what I know.
Yeah.
The only thing is,
Mm.
if you don't believe in yourself, if you keep saying things are hard, for sure they become hard. But if you say,
Yes.
I know I'm passing, because even and manifesting, yeah, people joke with
Mm.
manifesting, but it's not a joke. Like saying that I am sure hii mwaka haitaisha kama at least sijapata kitu. It comes to
Mm.
pass.
Yes.
It comes to pass. But don't say that and just keep quiet and sit in the house. No.
Mm.
It's saying it
Mm.
and acting towards it. It's saying it kama ni training, enda training. So that hata ukipata kismat, ujui kwenye utakutana na mtu. That's why I tell people, usikae kwa nyumba umejinyamazia. Go out there, interact with people. Utasikia tu one word that will push you ahead. And for
Mm.
sure, it works. Yes. Because me, I didn't stay in the house. I went to a 9K job. From 9K job, I went to a job that I was getting years of that teaching, that I was earning almost 50K. And in a good month, I would be given around 60 or 50, which was not taxed at that time because got up your cash. But you see, it took my students kwa ile job ya 9K kunipeleka hiyo job ingine. That's why I tell people,
Wow.
don't stay in their house. Hata kama uko kwa nyumba, ingia basi live ya Nyawira. Interact with others here. But don't stay in the
Mm.
house. Ingia webinars, interact with people, see what people are
Mm.
saying. They may not give you a job, but they'll give you an idea, they'll give you a push.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
love that. I love that.
Mm.
Wow. Any
They'll give you,
questions for Sasha?
and don't hang out with people who are negative. Somebody
Thank
that
you.
keeps telling you, kwani utafuti, like you're a child, kwani utafuti kazi, umfanyangi nini? I had a friend that used to tell me that rubbish. Kwani utafuti,
Yeah.
then they go look for me, and then know what you want. For me,
And
I was
sometimes
like, I
it's the
know.
spouse.
Mm-hmm.
It's the
Sorry?
spouse. And sometimes it's the
Yeah.
spouse you're living with. Mm.
Yeah, especially the spouse. If the spouse is abusive, what I tell women, I'm sorry, but no. Because
Mm.
if you're leaving, can you get a job without experience and you graduated 7 years ago? So 7 years ago you graduated. My question would be, what have you been doing? Yeah.
Mm.
Whatever you've
Yeah.
been doing, you need to change and start gaining that experience. You don't have to be employed to gain
Mm.
experience. You
Yeah.
can do a course, you'll gain experience. You can get in those webinars, you'll get experience. Ukisikia tu ma meetings in arrange hizi, hata ma NGOs wengi huku kina Kibira, they always have these small meetings za kukula pesa ya dona. Go to those meetings, interact with
Mm.
people. Yeah, yeah, and that is experience. That is part of the experience. Yeah,
Yeah.
start even this talk show. Even start a talk show on TikTok in your area of expertise. Start talking
Mm.
about it. That is experience. Usingoje kupatiwa experience always na employer.
Mm.
No, utakaa sana
Mm.
kwa nyumba. Yeah,
Mm. Mm.
that's what I
Mm.
can say. Yeah, and then knowing what you want, like when I was leaving my job to go for the NGO job, I had decided sitachukua kazi itanilipa less than 50,000. So this friend of mine was busy telling me, oh, mbona utafutangi kazi? Then she got a job for me in Kibira at 10K. Nikamwambia, you know, there was a time I was earning 9 and I was okay. Right now, hakuna kazi nachukua ya less than 50K. Oh,
Yes.
utarudi kwenyu. You don't have, I said, even if I go to my home, my mom can never chase me away. So it is
Yeah.
fine. You leave me alone, please. And
Mm.
trust me, after some time I got a job and it was paying me well. At least it paid me what manifestation sasa. It paid me
Mm.
what I was willing to take. So I told her, no,
Yeah.
siwezi enda kanyanga mafiki bira na kula 10K. No, I'm past that. Yeah. And I'm not telling people to refuse, but just
Know
kuwa
your
na
worth.
nini time. Know your worth. If you're starting, it is okay. Hata 5K
Yeah.
ukinipea ni sawa. But
Mm.
saizi Nyawira uniambie unipatie 10K. I will not take it. Yes, because I feel with the years of experience, this is what I need to be given. And people
Yeah.
see that. And because you know
Mm.
your worth, you work towards to fit that worth. So sema unataka
Yeah.
50K na una skill hata moja, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ni kweli.
But it is
Ni kweli.
well. I know
Mm.
it's tough in Kenya. I know people, I have relatives who don't have jobs and all that. And I keep
Mm.
encouraging them because I believe always, always, kuna ile yako Mungu amekuwekea. And don't look
Mm.
at another person and say, oh, mimi kwani nilifanywa. No, there's nothing you've been done. You're unajifanyia. Just believe in
Mm.
yourself. Your race ni your race. Another person's race ni race yake. Yeah.
Mm.
Na ukiona, and then there is also this caliber of people. Unaona maybe bradhako or your sister ameenda majuu, so kazi yako ni kukaa kwa nyumba unaongojeanga $100. Please, you'll die as a poor person. Go out
Yeah.
there, get your own money. Look for something to do. You will get it for sure.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then for spouses, don't be with somebody. As I said, in 2014, it was a difficult time because I had, besides my job being bad and giving me pesa yenye ilikuwa inakuja this month, next month haikuji, I also had a boyfriend that was really draining me. Ile draining mpaka una self-esteem. And really, I would never want someone to go down that road. It's not a beautiful road. Ukiona mtu hakuvalue, mtu anakuchukulia hivi hivi, they are like demeaning you, telling you words that
Yeah.
don't build you.
Mm.
Remember, saizi uko na struggles za finances na mtu bado anakuambia unakaaje. So you start believing what they are telling you. I'm telling you, there's nothing as bad as a broken self-esteem. Hey, if you had seen me when going for that interview 2015, nilikuwa nimebeat. Yani, but we rise again. We keep rising.
Yeah.
So if you're with a spouse, si lazima, my dear, marriage. I'm not misadvising people, but it's something built in you. You only have one life. And right now, people think that vitu kama stroke, high blood pressure, they are for the old. No, even
Mm.
25 years unapata stroke vizuri sana.
Yeah.
Because of the lifestyle we are leading. Ya si kama za kitambo, your parents, maybe some of the parents walikuwa wamezoea GBV and it was a way of life for them. But right
Yeah.
now, no, do not allow somebody to be assertive. Just tell somebody, ai hapana, hapo unanipeleka vibaya. Be very assertive, usimtusi mtu, but be very open-minded and tell somebody this one, no, I think we need to respect each other. If they don't respect you, kwani umekuwa hapo na superview? No.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Then when they ask about years of experience, is it your employment period or plus the learning skills? Years of experience. So it depends. If you are not yet employed, you can put it in your learning skills. Yeah. The skills you learn after maybe college, and also the skills you learn. That's why I'm telling people, try to do something beyond training. Umepata training, ingia hapa show, try to give people like a talk, okay? So that counts as your experience. Yeah, that counts as your experience. So you can say you've been building capacity of people. No, that counts as your experience. How do you do it? I do ABCD. That counts as your experience. And I think even, I don't know, people say that volunteering is no longer allowed. But how about trying to get organizations, trying to go for their meetings, and trying to say that you can come and train on ABCD area without necessarily them hiring you as a volunteer. But when it comes to reference, wakupatie reference. Yeah, I think that can also be a bit skillful. Yeah, strategic. Kama hakuna volunteer, yeah.
Explain that again. I would like you to repeat that again. Very important and very key.
Okay. So for example, si nimeambia watu waende meetings, waende webinars, and ukienda kwa hizi ma CBOs, local organizations, because even us we do a lot of trainings, yeah. So unapata donors wapa pesa, then you go do like kwa community, mnakusanya watu wanakuja trainings. So use those platforms. Like if a training is called Nenda Your Training, then tell them that next time you'd like to come and volunteer to train in a certain training. You'd like to give for free. Really happy. And I hope they really get these things. You'll get and you'll come here with a testimony. You'll be like, oh my God, I didn't know it was that easy. I'm telling you, it's not difficult. You will make it.
Yes.
Yeah? You'll come here with testimonies. So there's somebody, let me pick up from somebody in the comment section that said, if they are, they are laid off due to redundancy, something like that. So I didn't understand what they want to say. Do they want to say like wakienda interview? What can they say if they were laid off because of redundancy? I didn't understand, but maybe if they meant they were laid off and you're wondering how to go about it in an interview, the best would be to just say that funding got cut off. Yeah, there's no more funding because mostly redundancy is as a result of cutting funding, not because you're necessarily underperforming, but it can be because of funding crisis. I hope the person will get to see that. Yeah.
I'm also trying to find that comment.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find the comment. Oh, yeah, I've seen it, Sophie. So his name is Dimba Kalausi. He says, suppose you're declared redundant or declared not performing in your job. How can you answer that? Yeah, I think in such a case, how do you respond to that in an interview? Yeah, you got it right, Sophie.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just saying like those, because it's funding that makes you redundant. So they say because what they do is like they go to an organization, looks at funding. Kama funding imekuja kidogo, you look at a role, for example, that can be done by 2 people, then you declare one to be redundant. So it's not because you are not performing in most cases, and you don't want to tell your next employer you became redundant because you are not performing. That will kill you.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
That's very true.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah. What else do you want to add, Sophie?
For job. So I think I've said much of it, not unless now maybe we see questions and I respond.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Any question for Sophie? People are saying what they learned from you today. I'm so happy that people were alert.
Yeah, I've seen their comments.
On Friday, I'll text them up that you're coming on Friday. So
yeah. I'm really happy I'm able to support,
to
because it's
make
not
it.
always, yeah. I'm really
Yeah.
happy because most people don't. I'm not saying people are foolish, no. But even
Mm,
me, I did not know some of these things. Now, because I know, I feel, let me share. Maybe hata kama ni
mm,
wawili watatu, they'll get a job through this. It will help
mm.
them. It helps somebody. And slowly we keep decreasing our poverty cycles. That's what I call it. Whenever I help
Thank
someone and
you.
they're able to get a job or something, that's decreasing poverty cycle. Yeah.
Yes.
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 That's what I feel.
Yes. Very important. Very important. If you help one, two, three people, that's more than enough. So, Sophie, in terms of GBV,
Yeah.
it is noted I'm really intrigued by that bit. GBV.
Yeah.
We usually have a class once a week on GBV. What would you contribute in terms of GBV? Would you love, can I maybe, because you're still in the country, and I don't know if you have some free time, probably Wednesday. Would you want to discuss issues on GBV? We'll think of a topic on GBV. Is that something
Yeah.
you can
When
support?
Wednesday?
Wednesday,
Let me
probably
see.
around 10.
No, I'm going back to work on Tuesday. I'll arrive on Wednesday
Okay.
at 10.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do it on Thursday. Because Wednesday nikiingia naanza mails nini nini.
Okay. Thursday is perfect. Thursday is perfect. All right.
Yeah, Thursday is okay.
Aye, perfect.
But send
Perfect.
me questions beforehand.
I'll give you today.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Today. You've
Yeah.
really had a good holiday, I can tell.
Yes, it's I tried to rest, and I tried to read books that are helping me. As I told you, growing is a journey. Yeah, I'm still trying to discover myself in some aspects, and right now I'm learning how to say no sometimes, because I don't say no sometimes to some requests that are draining
Yeah.
at times. Yeah, so
Yeah.
yeah, it's been a good holiday for me, and I'm glad that I was able to contribute to this platform. I need agricultural economics job ya NGO. Yeah. So
I'm
what I
trying to
can tell
find you.
people again
Yes,
and
please do.
again is get online. Whatever role you want. If you want agricultural jobs, identify. Do you want an NGO? Do you want a government job? Find out what kind of jobs are out there. Yeah. Officer, if you're starting off fresh from college, I advise people start from maybe an officer level. Officer in NGOs is like maybe or assistant level, and grow from
Mm,
there. And when you get a job, usiende kufanya tu kazi yako kuokota salary. No, know that we
mm,
are always in a competition, and I'm not talking about an unhealthy competition na watu, but a healthy competition where you know to get an edge over the others. You have to be seen for you to be promoted. Let people see, because you don't have a godfather sometimes. Let people see the skills you're bringing on the job. Let people see your humility. Let people see like
mm,
you're able to support even when called to, like maybe after hours, once in a while. Kama kuna job pressure, you're able to support. Si kusema hey, my job ends at 5. Hapana. Sometimes it can
mm.
end beyond 5. Just that
Yeah.
attitude, it will get you very
Mm.
far. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, just get online, just Google. Even kama utatumia Relief Web or those sites we are going to give them, then just Google officer job, agricultural officer, agricultural maybe assistant, agricultural,
Yeah.
I mean this sector. Just Google your sector and see jobs will come there. A lot of jobs.
Mm.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yourself, I'll
Someone have
share
a
a list of
question?
NGOs with Nawira.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah. And please, people
Exactly.
should stop the mentality of saying, niite tu hata nikufagiliange. No, it's a poverty mentality. Na ukiendelea hivyo, you'll never strive for higher. Just believe in yourself that you can do anything. Yeah, me didn't
Yeah.
have a godfather, but to see where I
Mm.
am. Yeah. through interacting, unachanuka even if you have to take like a course like online on YouTube, just if you're
Yeah.
not good in interacting, if you're not good in networking, enter YouTube, click how to interact with people, how to negotiate your way through the corridors of power, how to interact with people intelligently if you feel you're lacking in those areas. I'm always doing these things as well. I'm always trying to learn more and more. Like if I'm going to, like there's a time I was going to meet donors, I had to Google on YouTube how to present myself to donors, how to, so that you know what to say to people. Don't go to beg and say, oh, I don't have a job. Hakuna mama yako huko nje. People have become hardened, but they want to see unakaje. People will even when you hear people talk, they'll always say, hey, that person is quite intelligent. That person is quite skillful. But if you go crying to people, like I have somebody whom I had na huwa anahaya watu. If someone comes among, like unajua unajitetea kwa interview, then you start saying, oh, niko na mashida nyingi, they will not hire you. They will not, don't go pity partying. No, people want to know uko na skill. Mo kuja uniambia ati sijui. Of course I work with women and I feel for women, but I advise people, don't go saying they are your problems. Nobody cares in this world about your problems. Nobody cares that you've not eaten in a whole week. Enda jipake Vaseline mudomo, you go present yourself.
Kweli kabisa. Kweli kabisa. Nobody cares if you're a single mother, you're a single dad, if your child is